This clip is brought to you by VegasWinners.com. Get expert sports betting advice from some of the best handicappers in the world. Head on over to VegasWinners.com and win yourself some money.
Ken Brzezinski is up next, and his Twitter handle at Promographic. Ken, who from UWF or Mid-South, some of these just cracked me up, JR. Who from UWF or Mid-South could fit in today's modern wrestling scene?
A lot of guys. There's a lot of guys. I mean, I'd be hard pressed to say who wouldn't fit in.
Yeah.
Coming out of the Mid-South, we have guys that are really talented workers. And we're talented workers in major territories, in other territories for years. So a lot of guys, Murdoch would fit in, Butch Reed would fit in, Magnum TA would fit in. You don't think if the Young Bucks had a chance to work with a young Rock and Roll Express right now, how they would fit in? Come on. So a lot of guys would fit in because we had so many guys who are fundamentally sound and they knew their art. So there's not, I wouldn't want to eliminate anybody. A smart booker knows, like Tony Khan is a smart booker. He can realize what their strengths are and their weaknesses are. We've always heard this talked about Paul Heyman, who's a brilliant guy, no doubt. You hide the weaknesses and you accentuate the positives. If that one Dudley guy could only do a choke slam, then
a big Dick Dudley, yeah,
big Dick Dudley. Then that's what you'd build a spot to.
Right.
So
get Big Dick up there.
Yeah, everybody could always use that.
Blue Chew, baby.
My God.
Hey, what about the Redeemer Miro versus Dr. Death Steve Williams or Terry Bam Bam Gordy? My goodness, that'd be fun.
I'll say that again.
You think about the Redeemer Miro, right?
Oh, Miro, yeah.
Yeah, picture him against the Dr. Death.
Oh, shit.
Or Terry Gordy.
I would love that.
My goodness.
Yeah, I love Miro. He's found who he is.
Agreed.
And he's, not doing silly shit that they thought might work. We all thought it might work. But what he's transformed to is awesome. Awesome.
His promos, they've been so good lately.
Yeah. He's got a theme.
Yeah.
He's got a beginning, a middle, and an end to every promo. He doesn't get out of his lane. He has his topic. He has his subject matter. Now he's going to present it in some shape, form, or fashion. But he's smart enough to know that, when something works, just refine it. Don't go away from it. And sometimes a booker will get tired when Vince gets tired of things. Sometimes I'm told. So, and things change at the drop of a hat, or in his case, the drop of a pencil.
And
to be more specific, the drop of more specific, the drop of an eraser.
Yeah.
Most dangerous weapon in wrestling. I asked Bill Watts at one time. We were going to some trip to some town. Of course, I was driving. That's when I learned to roll joints by steering a car to my knees while I twist one up for him. So I was a jack. I had a lot of skills. You got a lot of skill. You got to have a lot of tools in that toolbox, boy. So if you could roll a joint, drive the car with your knees, steer it with your knees, keep your hands free.
Yeah.
You do your thing. And I asked him, I said, seriously, Bill, what's the most dangerous weapon? The most serious, is there one hold that guys don't use because it's too dangerous? Or is there something? He said, no, you got it all wrong, kid. The most dangerous thing in wrestling is the eraser. Because with the eraser, you can be on the top, and in about 10 seconds, you can be in the opener. Or you can be gone. Eraser. I've never forgotten that. It's a little crass, maybe, but it's true. In those days, it's true.
The pencil's been a theme on this show. It started with Steve Blackman, and here we are working the eraser.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe this is real, but we not only got a handicapper, but we got the best ever. How are you so good at handicapping these games? I mean, 4-0, that's quite a streak already.
Well, let's talk about every pick I've given this year in the NFL as an example. 23-8 Every pick I've given this year, 4 weeks in the bag, 23-8. There's nobody in the country that can match what I do, but I always make sure, because anybody, Conrad, could make up anything. They could tell you and blow smoke and tell you, oh, I'm the greatest. But I am independently monitored and documented, so nobody could ever question what I say and go, I don't believe it. I send every pick to an independent monitoring and documentation service that has to get the pick before the game goes off and then publishes it after the game goes off so anybody could see what I gave. But this is the best start I've ever had. I've never been this good to start a season. You don't win every week, 4 weeks in a row, everything you put out. It's been the kind of year I've had. So get on a hot streak, because when a guy's on a hot streak like me, you want to ride it. I've always had a talent for picking winners. Never quite as hot as I am right now, but I've always been very good at it. And I think it's because I do more homework than anybody else. You know, the average guy or gal watching this podcast, they don't have time. They have a career. They have jobs. They might read the newspaper or go online and see something, but they don't have time 80 hours a week to study the games. That's what I do. And I have a crew of guys behind me, my consultants, who every week we get together 3 times a week and they throw their ideas at me. I throw my ideas at them. And then I pick the final 5 plays on Saturday and Sunday in college and pro football. So, I mean, I've got a great team behind me too, but we're all doing together hundreds of hours of homework. So you don't have to. It's all at vegaswinners.com.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to vegaswinners.com right now. Let's win some money.
Ari Rosenbaum is up next, and he says, and this is a fun, I love these UWF questions. What do you think would have been the outcome of UWF if there wasn't an oil glut in Oklahoma forcing Cowboy to sell? Could they have made it national and outlast Crockett?
Well, that's a hard question to answer. I always thought that at some point that the two companies should work together, Crockett and Watts, combine their resources, combine their combined television network, share TVS time to build more stars, which didn't set well with the Crockett roster. But it's hard to say. Bill had a great eye for talent, and he had a style that was very physical, and it was unlike, it was more reality based more often than not, in my opinion. I might be wrong too. So if it was simply up to the producing a great show and writing good TV, would have been all right. But still, the funding, the oil thing killed us, and the gas, natural gas. I mean, there was no money. It's amazing too. We had double-digit ratings. Like a 10 rating and a 40 share. But the house shows were the shits. People didn't have the money to bring their families, leave home, park, buy a ticket, a Coke, whatever. Didn't have the money. So even though our TV ratings were ballooning, the product was still popular. It wasn't popular enough to overcome the lack of funds.
And sometimes, which I think is lost too, is the vision for growing a business and doing it at the right pace. That's critical. You could be great at writing wrestling, at booking wrestling, creating exciting TV, but when you're talking about growing a company, doing it the right way, and still being profitable, sometimes that takes a completely different skill set.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Watts didn't have our infrastructure was very lean. So he would have had to add more personnel, and he too was hard to work for. So, but nonetheless, I if it just was from the pure point of writing good television, Cowboy would have been all right.
There you go.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at savewithconrad.com.